Apple's Face ID could soon be coming to the iPad Pro. Android Wear gets some necessary updates. And look out, did Google just buy Apple? Hey you, it's me, Curtis P, and it's time for some coffee. Looks like the iPad Pro could be the next device in Apple's lineup to feature Face ID. Ming-Chi Kuo has predicted that the iPad Pro will be getting Face ID for the next generation. This means we might see an edge-to-edge display on the iPad in the near future. And we've already seen with iOS 11 that the iPad is being designed without the home button in mind. Like, you can swipe up from the bottom of the display to get to multitasking. You can even use the multitasking switcher just to get back to the home screen. So combining the UI that's already in iOS 11 with some of the stuff that's going into the iPhone 10, it just makes a lot of sense. Also, an edge-to-edge display on an iPad would be amazing. Just think of what this would look like. It'd be so cool. Apple also releasing watchOS 4.1 Beta 2 with some big improvements. The biggest change you'll notice is right inside a control center, there's now a Wi-Fi toggle. So not only can you see what Wi-Fi network your watch is connected to, but you can also toggle Wi-Fi on and off. Now, this could help resolve many of the issues people were having reviewing the Series 3 watch. The conclusion being the watch was attempting to connect to Wi-Fi networks that required you to actually sign into them. You know when you log into a Wi-Fi network at a hotel or something, a pop-up appears and it's like, hey, can you input your room number? Well, that would happen on the watch, except the watch doesn't have a browser on it, so you couldn't really do that. So the watch thought it was connected to Wi-Fi, but it wasn't, and thus it wasn't engaging with the cellular system. So, long story short, basically you can now open up Control Center and just disable Wi-Fi if you're ever having that issue. The watch also telling you which Wi-Fi network you're connected to, which is very nice. So, simple little toggle added, but really, I don't know why it wasn't there in the first place. The other thing you'll notice is a brand new radio app, which has appeared on the watch. You can now listen to Beats One and other streaming radio stations right on your watch over a cellular connection. Now, with LTE finally coming to the Apple Watch, my sort of question is, what could they possibly do next? So, my question for all of you guys, what future feature would you like to see in the next version of a smartwatch? You can let me know, comment section down below. Into some quick news for the day, everyone. Google made a great update to Android Wear 2.0, stating that brand new features can be delivered through the Play Store now. The aim for this brand new update is to publish more timely improvements between over-the-air updates. So basically, Google will be able to update all of the apps on Android Wear without having a huge over-the-air update like you'd normally see. Instead, you might just see an update for the Contacts app. Next up, the Dow Jones publishing that Google is buying Apple. Except they're not. The Dow Jones publishing a very interesting news article stating, in a surprise move to everyone who is alive, Google said it's going to buy Apple for $9 billion. Google chief executive Larry Page had secret talks with the now deceased Steve Jobs in 2010 to firm up the deal. The deal was announced where Jobs' will was read in Cupertino, California. The deal, which is expected to close tomorrow, gives each Google shareholder 9 shares of Apple stock. Obviously, Google will move into Apple's fancy headquarters. Google employees said yay. Now, this post on the Dow Jones caused the stocks actually to jump and move around, but they did end up falling back to normal here. Dow Jones themselves releasing a statement saying it was a technical error. Most likely, this entire message was created to test out an internal messaging platform, but unfortunately, it was released to the public. And last for the quick news here, looks like Razer could be developing its own phone, posting this teaser photo on their website for a future device, expected to be a brand new phone coming out on November 1st. Now, Razer recently purchased Nextbit back in January. They were the creators of the Robin phone. Next up, let's talk about some space-related news, everyone, because Richard Branson says he's heading to space real soon. Richard Branson, the owner of Virgin Galactic, stating his private space company is only months away from making its first space flight. Projecting in 3 months, they'll be doing their first space flight, and in 6 months, Richard Branson himself will be in space. Virgin Galactic planning on selling seats for $250,000 per ticket, and when asked about his thoughts on a race to Mars, he has no plans on it, stating, "I'm not as passionate about Mars as Elon is. My love for space is about how much it can do for people back here on Earth, and that's what Virgin Galactic is pushing towards." So we have Elon Musk pushing for Mars, we have Richard Branson just attempting to get into space. What the heck is NASA doing these days? Well, according to a new goal set out by Mike Pence, apparently they're heading back to the moon. Instead of continuing to work on Obama's Journey to Mars plan, NASA will now be going back to the moon. stating, "We will return American astronauts to the moon, not only to leave behind footprints and flags, but to build the foundation we need to send Americans to Mars and beyond. We won the race to the moon a half a century ago, and now we will win the 21st century in space." Now, if all the plans go well, this will be the 7th manned mission to the moon, and the first one since Apollo 17 back in 1972. Now, Mars is still in the plans, but the current goal, of course, is to use the brand new Space Launch System to bring humans to the moon. Then, at later times, they'll be heading on to Mars. Trump even stating back in April that he wanted a trip to Mars to happen in his 2nd term. Though I just don't see that happening for 2 reasons. The first being that I don't think NASA will be ready in time for that, and the second thing is I just really hope he doesn't get a 2nd term. But with that, we arrive at the end of the video for today. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm working on releasing new videos just like this one throughout the week, so make sure you subscribe so you can stay all up to date. You can also find other videos just like this one on screen right now, so make sure you check those out. Well, until next time everyone, I'm Paradis. Have an amazing day.